on the Texas A&M Sports Network. From Learfield, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Presented by Coors Light. Choose chill and gig 'em Aggies. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, here is the voice of Texas A&M basketball, Andrew Monaco.
Howdy, and we welcome you inside Rudy's for another edition of the Aggie Basketball Hour. 60 minutes of talking Texas A&M men's basketball. This evening, we're doing it with assistant coach Vince Walden. So glad you're with us, either here at Rudy's, all along the Texas A&M Sports Network, the 12th Man mobile app, Learfield's Varsity Network app, or if you're joining us behind the mic as we are streaming on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. We will talk about the week that was. 2-0 were the Aggies last week. Home win over Oklahoma, 75-68. Road win in Columbia, South Carolina, 76-72 over the Gamecocks. And we'll preview what's ahead. Saturday, the Aggies will be back on the road in Columbia, Missouri to take on the 15th ranked Tigers. Texas A&M is now ranked number 10, moving up 3 spots in the AP poll after going 2-0 last week. A reminder that when you want a quick, delicious, and nutritious hot meal in minutes, look no further than Heat Ups. Convenient, high-protein meals on the go with local pickup in Aggieland. Head on over to heatups.com to place your order. Heat Ups, meals made simple. Also, this Aggie Basketball Hour is brought to you by the letter V. Coach V joins me when we return. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. The 12th Man Foundation is the official fundraising organization and ticket provider for Texas A&M Athletics. Support a 75-year legacy and help shape the future of Aggie Athletics by donating today. 12thmanfoundation.com. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams, and we have Vince Walden. It's, as I said off the top, this show is brought to you by the letter V, baby. It is me and V for 60 minutes. Here we go. Coach gets a bye.
He does.
Right?
Yes.
He's
well-deserved.
Actually, he's with Zira, right? He's got a chance to be with some family, which is awesome. The Aggies are now number 10 in the nation in the AP poll. They go up 3 after consecutive wins. Oklahoma, the road win in South Carolina. And your thoughts on this past week, Vince, after the prior week and the Aggies riding that roller coaster at Oxford and in Austin?
Absolutely. And I think for us as a staff, I think we all wanted to play immediately right away to get rid of Texas. And so I thought Coach, and he's so competitive, but he's also, he loves our guys. And so his thought process was, how can I hold them accountable? How can we get better? And then how can we win this next game? And I thought his approach he always talks about response. You and I talked about that.
Yes.
And so how will we respond? And I think you're a parent. I'm a parent. He's a parent. We all, I think our kids will follow our lead. And they knew that that was unacceptable. How do we learn from it? What would be our response to this? And I thought he did an amazing job of just getting us all ready for the next game.
He said after the win against Oklahoma, post-game prayer, God, thank you for the events of last week. Not the wins, he's very thankful for every and grateful for every victory.
Absolutely.
But he was thankful for the events, because if event plus outcome equals your response, right?
That's right.
What was going to be the response? If you don't get anything like that, you don't know. If everything goes right, you don't know the response when things don't go well. But that's what's special about this group, is it not?
It is. And, and that's something that Coach has taught our guys. And that's older, as he would say, old adults, younger adults, the events that happen and how will we respond. And it was a perfect test for us, because I think as a staff, we're all teachers. How can we, and Coach always challenges us, how can we continue to reach these guys? How can we be succinct with our words? How can we help them grow and get better and be ready to take the court? And I think you get hit in the face with the way we lost, and it was, okay, now how they're looking at him. How is he going to respond because of the teaching? Okay, and now the event happens. Okay, coach, now how are you going to respond? And again, I thought that, but that's what makes us special. You know, he's going to tell them the truth. And he let them know he was upset.
Right.
He was disappointed, I should say. And but I think he was eager to learn from it, and then say, hey, look, let's go get this next one. And I think that one turned into the next one. I tell you what he did. He actually showed different programs in our conference that had a loss and did not respond accordingly.
Right.
And how that led to the next one, and maybe the next one.
Right.
And I thought that he gave them such good truth and good data and something tangible that they could put their hearts in their minds on to say, okay, well, let's lock back in. And then that was good.
Yeah.
We got 2 in a row, and then we had the bye week. And I think now it's just about guys just getting healthy, taking care of our bodies, and get ready for the second half.
If I ask before the season, could you have this kind of non-conference schedule? Could you do it with any other team but this one with the experience? Buzz said, no, I don't think you could. I don't think a younger team could do that. I think it's only fair to say you probably need the same kind of experience for this gauntlet of the SEC. But by having an experienced team and a mature team, and I use the word poise an awful lot, a poised team, you can survive a roller coaster like that. Could you not? I think if you're a younger team, it might lead, one loss might lead into the next one.
Yes.
I think that experience helps, doesn't it?
100%. And, you know, and again, I think coach is so connected to our guys that just wasn't going to happen. And I think our guys, you know, here's the thing. We go and play against South Carolina, just talking about both of those games this past week. They hadn't won a conference game. But here's the thing. We had been in the same position where, and this is what I said to Henry and Wade before we left out the locker room. I said, hey, guys, hey, look, I need you to understand, you two were a part of an 8-game losing streak. That other locker room is a part of it now. And so their urgency is going to be really high, but our urgency got to be better than their urgency. Our connectivity and connectedness has to be better than their connectedness. And so I think, and that's nothing different than what coach has told them.
Right.
But just, hey, look, a little reminder. So as soon as we got on the floor, Wade said, hey, man, we got to be urgent. And so you just try to echo what coach says and just give them something that might help. And I thought his urgency, with the way he came out on the road, that was we needed that.
The students tried to get under him, and they realized they picked on the wrong one. He's going to answer you right back.
Yes, but it's an old group. To your question, and I think coach is spot on. And he will tell you, and he's told us many times, and we believe it, and that is that this is an anointed group at an appointed time, and now it's. You know, as the older adults, can we be guardrails for them? Yeah. You know, where they going to walk down the hall, they're going to bump into some truth. They get too far over this way, they're going to bump into some more truth. And I think the older adults around these guys are just trying to be guardrails, love on them, hold them accountable, and give them great direction.
When we come back to the Aggie Basketball Hour, we will hear from Buzz Williams, his post-game thoughts after the 76-72 win at South Carolina. That's when we return to Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Stay with us. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour, and this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12man.com/maroon contest. That's where you register, where one winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Buzz Williams autographed basketball, and you'll be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today, 12man.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud partner, Texas A&M Athletics. Saturday night, Columbia, South Carolina. The Aggies defeated the Gamecocks by a final of 76-72. And after the game, Buzz Williams joined us courtside to talk about the win over South Carolina.
That was our 10th game. That was a 1 or 2 possession game. I think there's been phenomenal growth over the last month in their acceptance of the value of every possession, and that regardless of location, regardless of opponent, they've accepted that it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game. We practice like that. We teach like that. We watch film like that. We do shoot around like that. We do pregame like that. That's unbelievable competitive maturity by our guys. I'm not talking about their talent. I'm not talking about the plays we run. I'm not talking about our free throw percentage. I'm talking about, at 22 years old, their willingness to listen, not object, and receive. This is what it's going to be. And I think what I've learned by watching them is there is a calmness in that competition, and there's liberating freedom that, yeah, this is what we knew. There's not an anxiousness, all of those experiences, for them to receive that wisdom going into Game 7, Game 8, Game 9. There's opportunities as this unfolds that intangible is a competitive advantage. It doesn't mean that we're going to win, but it says a lot about our staff. It says a lot about our managers. It says a lot about our helping coaches. It says a lot about our players. It says a lot about the role players. It says a lot about the red shirts. If you watch that bench and you only take a camera and zero in on the communication that's happening, not what's transpiring in between the lines, it's a high-level incubator of really good information. There's a low ego in there. There's a high confidence, but a low ego. And there's a lot of communication on what needs to be said, not on what wants to be heard. I really am thankful for the opportunity to learn, but I'm also very grateful for that group of individuals, no matter how old, no matter their title per se, no matter their age. That is very rare to find in any day and age, but ultra rare to find, in my opinion, in 2025.
Constantly learning.
Constantly.
And you are one of those people that he's talking about. But that's why I say joy for one another on that bench. You talked about if you're going to be connected and connectivity and that communication, it's not just the five on the floor. Something's happening. They're all up and they're all talking. And if someone dives on the floor, that bench is up. If someone, what did we see in Indianapolis? We saw the blue team, right? All those red shirts in the second row come out and celebrate a charge that was taken, or Manny saving it before it goes over the end line.
Yeah.
Vince, you can't fake that.
No.
And he knows exactly what he has. You know exactly what you have, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's special, man.
Yeah.
And Monaco, you've seen the quote shirts that we have, and the one that I think is such a great representative of our program is love is our superpower. And we've won games because of that. And Coach Rock, he would pray, you know how it is right there at the end, is, just want us to be connected and help one another. And I think that whenever he says that, it, and the guy's going to joke with us anyway, and they be picking with Coach Rock, like, Lord, and, so forth. But
Henry doing Rock is the funniest thing.
Is amazing, amazing. And, but it's true. Right. These guys have been together for a long time, and it's been fun to see their growth individually and as a team. And but their hearts. You know what's fun as one of Coach's staff members, as one of his assistants, is that, and as a parent, one of the greatest things we get a chance to do is speak into our kids' lives. And as a coach, you get a chance to speak into their life, and you try to make an impact. And then it's always a matter of their hearts. And so, if you have to correct Manny, if you have to say something to Henry, if you have to say something, they just kind of check their heart. And coaches always giving a compliment to their parents and how they were raised. It's an amazing group of guys that you just look forward to doing life with every day. And I think you mentioned about us as a staff. It's we always say from coach to coach, from coach to player, from player to player. Everyone's just connected and trying to help each other. And so, South Carolina always would run a play we thought at a certain time, and we were spot on. And the whole bench just got up. And we're talking about that play so that we can make the proper adjustment and everybody can be alert. But it's those things that no one necessarily sees, but we see how connected. And that's just one play. But it's the fact we got to stop on that play was more of, yes, our preparedness, but it was we're all rooting for one another. Yeah. And you never see, you always say a sign of a good team is when you have individual players root for their position. And because sometimes a young person thinks that they need a player to do something negative or not be playing very well for them to get an opportunity. But for us, you see, Coach, he doesn't care if you're a freshman. He doesn't care if you're a senior. He doesn't care if you're a COVID senior. I mean, we were banged up Tuesday versus Oklahoma, and next thing you know, he's telling C-Mac, go. And, I mean, this is right at the beginning of the game when you're trying to set a tone, and everyone has to be ready.
Yeah.
And I think that, you heard Coach's post-game comments about the redshirt guys and the guys who might get a very small amount of minutes, but everyone has value. Everyone is important to what we're doing.
Everybody contributed to that win. You take something away from that,
right,
and you don't win by 4.
No.
You don't. And that's a powerful feeling. So I'm going to say this to you. When I tell Buzz before, this team has chemistry, he says when you say chemistry, you're really talking about character. Right?
That's powerful.
Which goes back to mother, father, mentor, guardian, whomever is that. Yes. I never thought of it that way, and I'm like, you know what? You're exactly right. Every team with chemistry has character. Teams that don't have character don't win. I'm sorry, they just don't.
They don't. They can have a lot of talent.
Of course, but what have we talked about? Sometimes that puzzle, that picture looks great, and none of the pieces fit.
Yes.
Right? We've seen those. We've defeated teams like that,
yes,
right?
We have.
And everyone's going, how does that team win?
Right.
You know what? After 40 minutes, as you're walking off the floor with a loss, you'll figure it out.
That's right. That's right.
It's too late, though, right now, because we just got you. Because you play to your identity.
Yes.
Right? And I think sometimes those teams don't have the identity.
Yes.
Right?
And I think coaches, the identity is in front of us every day, and we're taught on it. It's the rebounding, it's the toughness. It's I get sometimes what's cool is it's just not us internally that understand our identity, but I think now a lot of the public are understanding it. So you have a phone call where a guy might call you and say, "Hey Vince, man, I got a kid. I think he's a buzz kid." And so tell me what does that mean to you? And I had one parent the other day I was talking to, and he said, "Hey, man, you guys can get blood out of a rock." That's an old saying. And but Coach is going to hold a standard, but it starts with him. Yeah. He holds himself accountable. Right. I told him when I just appreciate his example. And everyone just follows suit. And I think that is what, for me, is the definition of our culture. And now you start to see the success. But it is a byproduct of that every day. Hey man, let's see if we can get a little bit better. Let's say, hey now we got to do it again tomorrow, guys. Good job today. Right. Got to do it again tomorrow.
We can't be good Saturday because Missouri's ranked, but then we can't be. Oh well, South Carolina doesn't have any wins, so we're good.
See, exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
That's the beauty. That's the we use the word standard a lot in sports. Right. Until you absolutely know that. But that's, again, I like I said to Buzz, thing about identity. When you're not playing to your identity, and when you are playing to your identity,
Yes.
That's important. But you're right. This team, who are we playing on Saturday? Doesn't matter.
Playing us. That's right. That's right. And that's what we're going to measure ourselves against.
Yeah. Because Thursday and Friday is more important than Saturday. If you don't have the preparation, right?
Yes.
For that. Yeah.
Yes. It comes to life, as Coach would say. We want these things to come to life, the things that we've done in preparation for this game to come to life when we're in between those lines. And it's really fun to be a part of it, to see it happen. And I think it just adds a little bit more confidence to our guys. And I think it helps them. And I think for us, again, we're just trying to find different ways to help them. And Coach will get on, hey, man, how can we find creative ways? Is it a new drill? Is it this? And he understands what he has. You just said that a moment ago. It's a special group.
Yes.
And how do we be a caretaker and do right by this group? And it's good. It's good. I think these guys understand. It's about relationship too, and they're accountable to each other. And so it's good.
That's powerful. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to talk about dogs. And I'll give a little inside joke on that. That's when we return. Okay. I want to remind you that at Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill, we source high-quality ingredients and make our recipes from scratch every day, starting with our fresh tortillas to our chips and queso, Baja Bowls, quesadillas, tacos, and more. Find us at CostaVita.com or in South College Station today. More of the Aggie Basketball Hour when we return to Rudy's. It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. Barry, thanks for checking in. Barry is checking in from Paris, Illinois. Behind the mic, Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. Along with Vince Walden, we continue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour. So when we win and we get on the plane or we get on the bus, and I just look at V and I say, dogs, right? And you hear that a lot in sports, right? So John and I are thinking, we've come up with just some descriptions, and I think it comes out to what a dog is, right?
Okay.
For Texas A&M. Resilience.
Yes.
Relentless.
Yes.
Resolve.
Yes. Those are 3 good ones.
And then John always adds this, and he says he thinks this is the separator for this team. Belief.
Yes.
Would that be fair?
No question.
Because I think the other thing that you were talking about, the word that comes to mind an awful lot, and I think it's a big word in sports, trust. C-Mac, as you talked about, trust that Buzz is going to put him in a place for C-Mac to succeed.
Yes.
But then that trust goes the other way as well. I'm going to give you everything. You've prepared me. I'm going to give you everything, right?
And what did he do as soon as he got in? Got an offensive rebound right away.
Yes.
Exactly.
It wasn't too big for him.
Yes.
This is your role. Do your role. You don't need to be – solo's out. You all don't need to be solo. We only have one.
That's right.
Now your role may expand a little bit.
That's right.
And that's what I think kind of got lost this week is we won 2 games without Solomon Washington.
Right.
But you couldn't see it. The other thing I think of this, Vince, is I always say Buzz empties the tank every game, right? For his players, right? I get it. And then the more I think about it, you know what? So does Solo. So does Andy. So does Henry. So does Zurich. They all empty. They all leave it out there. And I don't know if you can ask for anything more. We all want the results, but sometimes we don't want to do what goes into it. The result on Saturday was all the preparation that went into it, wasn't it?
100%. And again, you just talked about character, and the competitive character that these guys have is tremendous. But it goes back to the trust. It goes back to the love. All of it is connected. And then to Coach's point about it coming to life, and you see guys go out there and work like that. But again, Coach works for them like that.
Correct.
So it's being reciprocated.
Correct.
And so it's really cool. You know, we were talking at the break about Zurich Phelps. And here's ZP who comes in, spent all of that time at another school. And I always wondered, how would he embrace this? I knew he was talented. We played against him, you know, all of those kind of things. And he was, you know, we always talk, would you rather play with him or against him? He was the guy we wanted to play with.
Absolutely.
And then you see him, and coaches him really hard. And what my definition of hard is, truth, unfiltered, in a loving way. The kid receives it. It's been amazing to watch him and Coach foster that relationship, and it gets better and better and better. And again, remember now, he was injured early.
Right.
So when someone comes in, did I make the right decision? Okay, now I got injured. Well, I didn't think this was going to happen. But the way that Coach took care of him, the way that he took care of Wade Taylor.
Yes.
Wade might have been able to come back sooner, but Coach is going to always side on, hey, man, you need to be healthy now.
Correct.
Your health is more important. And a lot of people don't see that. And so he's always taking care of those guys, and those guys get it. Here's the perfect one to add to it. Jace Carter. Jace Carter's former AAU coach, I know really well. He calls me unsolicited, and this is what he says. Hey, Vince, I was just on a flight with Jace Carter. I said, okay. He said, we're sitting next to each other, and I asked him, how do you like playing for Buzz? And he said, he paused, and he said that Jace kind of looked up at the ceiling of the aircraft and said, I love him. I said, what? He said, he said, I love him. That's my guy. I rock with him. And you can see that relationship with him and Jace.
Yeah.
And the confidence and the trust. Again, it's you can go about every single player and have a similar story, but that's unsolicited. That's away from College Station. That's just, I see my guy on the airplane. Hey, man, how do you like playing for Buzz? I love him. That's the response. But it goes back to, again, trust is gained and lost through our actions. So now, did you keep your word? Did you follow through with that? And then you see, okay, now going back to Zurich, had an injury. How are you going to deal with that? Just kept taking care of Zurich. But then when he wasn't playing, how can I help Zurich continue to be connected, going back to that word again, to this group. Hey, Zurich, what do you think about that? Zurich's not going to play next game.
Right.
But he's still asking him, what do you think about this?
Right.
The inclusion of everyone in the program is at a high level, but that's coach, though.
Yeah, it absolutely is, because not just, okay, you're not going to get the points and the rebounds, but you've got 3 years of what Zurich has between his ears.
Yes.
And playing at that high level at SMU.
All
right?
that experience.
You get that.
That's right.
I want to say this, too. There's no way we were losing with Miss Carter praying before the game, right? There was no way. It wasn't a chance.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I was like, devil doesn't stand a chance in that building after she.
No, not at all. And, and Coach, again, that speaks to the program. Coach allowed her to pray for the team.
Yep.
And this is what I said. Now, look, we're in South Carolina. Henry's from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
His parents are down. And I saw his mom, Miss Cynthia. And I said, Miss Cynthia, you supposed to be here earlier so you could pray across the floor.
Yep.
And I said, the last time we were in South Carolina, Coach had you pray, and we won by a big margin. Now, that night it was a little closer. She started laughing.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Just trying to develop these guys. You're talking about now, that was prayer. You're talking about the spiritual development. And just trying to, I think Coach has a holistic approach to developing our guys. And the older those too.
Yes.
Yeah, no question.
Absolutely.
Dogs, though. Dogs, man. Dogs. So we say it every game.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. More of the Aggie Basketball Hour. We are with Vince Walden. We'll continue from Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you want a quick, delicious, and nutritious hot meal in minutes, look no further than Heat-Ups. Convenient, high-protein meals on the go with local pickup in Aggieland. Head on over to heatups.com to place your order. Heat-Ups, meals made simple. AP's Top 25 came out. 5 SEC teams in the top 10. Auburn's first, Alabama 3, Tennessee 4, Florida 6, Texas A&M 10. 7 in the top 15. Kentucky's at 14. That team we're playing on Saturday is now 15. Missouri has zoomed in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
9 in that top 25 with Mississippi State at 22, Ole Miss at 25. So Steve, who always gives us a question every week, having the ACC being so hard this season, should they cancel the SEC tournament and give everyone a week off?
Hey, that's a great suggestion. No question. We see in football that sometimes playing in the tournament can hurt your seeding and all kinds of things. But it's an incredibly tough conference, and it's fun to be a part of it. And I think any competitor will want to try their hand at the very best. And I think, without a doubt, this is the best league in the country. And as Coach would say, don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
And you just have to continue to prepare, take care of your guys, take care of your bodies.
Yeah.
He's always preaching to us about, hey, when it's time to rest, rest. When it's time to work. And but I tell you, incredibly tough conference and schedule.
And then watch the competition kick in once we all get to Nashville, right?
Oh, no question.
This conference is full of competitive players.
It is. And coaches.
And coaches.
Coaches, Vince. Yes. You were talking about Missouri, 15 in the country. I want to say that the win they had at Mississippi State, I was reading earlier that it's the biggest road game that they've won in the history of the school.
Yeah.
And I said, goodness gracious. Yeah. And here it's still first, in this conference. It's so tough. But every night, man. Yeah. Every night. As Coach said in his post game that we listened to a little earlier, our guys have received that it's going to be a 1 and a 2 possession game. And you just continue to hope you're on the other side of it. Yeah. And that goes back to the preparedness, not taking every single rep for granted to prepare yourself for what is to come. And Dennis Gates does a great job. They're really fast. Yeah. And they really shoot the ball. Yeah. And so I know they go to Tennessee next, and prior to us going to Missouri, but they're a really good team. Yeah. Really good team. They're old.
Yeah. Isn't it fun how the 16 teams have their own identity? Like, it's not one style. They're not all trying to do the same thing. Oklahoma's a challenge. South Carolina is a challenge. Texas is a challenge. Auburn's going to be a challenge. Tennessee, what Rick Barnes does with that. They all have, back to that belief, but it's not like, because you never know what you're going to get in a week. It could be 2 very different styles that you have to play, which makes me appreciate between the ears an awful lot, the preparation of the Aggies.
100%. And Coach is, man, he's really good at preparing our guys. And, and it's just the studying of it and not taking the opponent for granted, whoever it is. And it's not just in the SEC.
Correct.
That's non-conference. That's every game.
Mm-hmm.
Can we be prepared for it and think about what is to come? And he challenges us as a staff to go back to the word trust. He trusts that we're going to handle our buckets, as he calls them.
Right.
And then when it's time to get with him, and he's probably the best I've ever seen at compartmentalizing his time. When it's time for scheduling, he's working on scheduling. When it's time for recruiting, it's recruiting. Mm-hmm. But when he locks in on an opponent, it's, okay, what else are they doing? What do you think? And even in game, what adjustments? What do we need to do? And but it's a bear, man, this league. And so those different styles, and Devin Johnson does a great job too. Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you, he will change a defense at just the right time.
He will.
Elite is right.
Yep. He will.
Yep. And I feel like I come from San Antonio where they used to have the shirts of stops on demand, right?
Right.
You talk about that connectivity. Okay, we didn't score on that end. We're going to get the ball back.
Yes.
Like that defense. Like we trust we're going to be here. And and if there's a mistake, we're going to fix it.
That's right.
We'll get that. I just feel like there's so much confidence on that defensive end of the floor as well.
100%. No question. And again, it goes back to us talking about the dogs and the mentality and the toughness. Can we play really hard? And I don't know if it's just, human nature that it seems like you can measure the toughness on the defensive side of the floor more than the offensive side. But, you were talking about guys that are flying around, the Henry Colemans, the Solomon Washingtons, and we have a whole group of these guys that are committed, that believe, and you can see that effort pour out. And but there's some possessions. We had some this past week in South Carolina, shot clock violation, and shucks, the horn didn't even go off, and we were still, just guarding it. Hey, what's going on? We're trying to figure it out.
Seconds.
Yeah, we'll go 32 if we need to, but we got to get this stop. And I think our guys rally around that and getting stops, and obviously we prepare that. And can we get 3 stops? And coach is always monitoring that, telling us every huddle, where are we at with turkeys and how can we just best position our guys. But, yeah, can we get a stop and can we get an offensive rebound, get us another possession. And it's just so many things that go into that preparedness. And going back to Devin, man, Devin is a savant on that defensive side. And he's not afraid to try anything if he thinks it can help us in this very possession. Can we steal a possession? And just trying to keep teams off balance, or if something's working, let's keep it as it is. And but really prepare. And I think we're aligned as a staff that I think our kids see that also gives them even more belief. Because they see us again, and here it goes again as a parent, as a coach, them kind of following our lead, so to speak. But, man, Coach he's going to be prepared now. Yeah, no question about it.
Absolutely. We'll talk a little bit more about that. There's some things that I saw on Saturday I want to talk to you about. Okay. The Aggie Basketball Hour. We're with Vince Walden. Coach V, more from Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for your real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy's serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We continue with the Aggie Basketball Hour. We're with Coach V. So you were talking about Dev and the defense. I'm thinking that, okay, you see that 1-2-2.
Right.
It makes me think, similar to, I'm going to go to a different sport. Football. Stunner there, right? Buzz says he loves his football coaches.
Does.
It reminds me of Virginia Tech and special teams. Like, do teams have to devote a little more time to that 1-2-2 and then not know? It also reminds me of when Kermit Davis was at Ole Miss and playing that 1-3-1 that they did so well.
They did.
Boeheim, right?
Yes.
The 2-3.
Yes.
Right? All of that.
Right.
Can that have its effect? Again, because it's the identity of we're so confident in that 1-2-2, but we're not going to show you the same thing every time.
That's right.
There's other things that come with it. Teams have to devote some time to that, do they not?
They do. They do. And it's grown. It's gotten better year by year, I think.
Has.
And I think it's been fun professionally watching Coach Dev grow in his position as the defensive coordinator. And, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's ready to be a head coach, in my opinion, is him. But I think that there's confidence with our guys, and I think we have the personnel to be even more effective. We have length, we have athleticism, we have fast switch brains, guys that can make adjustments on the fly. And you might see Dad might see something, Coach might see something and say, well, we can try this or that coming out of a timeout or whatever the case might be. And it's a big weapon for us. Coach Lair tracks each possession that we're in it and gives Coach a live, play-by-play almost at every media. This is how successful we've been in it since the last time I've seen you. Yeah. And so I think that helps real time, whether that is being effective, whether or not, is there something else we need to do differently? And again, that goes back to the preparedness, being able to make adjustments on the fly, et cetera. But a team has to spend time on it because it can slow someone down, it can speed someone up. But we have the versatility from a personnel standpoint and again, our guys believe in it. And I think that has a lot to do with that success. And man, I tell you, it's fun when we can either or. You can have success either way, whether you're speeding somebody up and creating a turnover or slowing somebody down. And now it kind of cuts into what they can do in the half court. And but it's been very effective. And you were telling me it's so interesting. I mentioned Virginia Tech. Now, you got to be talking about Virginia Tech football. When Beamer was there.
Yeah, Frank
Beamer ball. I'm from Virginia, so, watched them a little bit, not as much. But I knew he was big on special teams. Yeah. Can you cause one? Can you steal a possession here and there?
Yes.
Onside kick, fake punt, all kinds of things.
That's how you keep momentum or seize it back. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And you hope that you play the cards right at the right time. And so I think that that's exactly what it has done for us. And then you have some other, and we're talking about Missouri next. They'll switch up some defenses on you too. And so, but for the Aggies, man, it's become a staple in our program now. It has. Yes.
And I want to talk more with that. Final segment coming up. Take the final break. One more segment. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Aggies are at Missouri on Saturday. There's no midweek game. The Aggies are on their bye. 2:30 is the tip. 2 o'clock with our Dos Equis tip-off show. Dr. John Thornton rejoins me. My thanks to Tap Bentz for filling in. Dr. Thornton, a grandfather once again. He and Laney Cooper doing well, getting better. He was, just to fill everybody in, he was born prematurely, but he just keeps getting strong. He's a fighter, and I have to say, Cooper's 2-0.
How about
Since he's been born, 2-0. So here is what – no, I like it right there, Kevin. Let's keep it right there. I kill him. He's like, he can't wait for this show to be over. With Luke Evangelist, Texags, with 3 offensive rebounds versus South Carolina, Henry Coleman III passed the pride of Normandy, Joseph Jones, for 3rd place all-time for the most offensive rebounds in Texas A&M history. 312 in his career. Needs just 13 more to pass Tyler Davis.
Wow.
For most in program history.
Goodness gracious.
Wade's going after Bernard King for scoring.
Right. Yes.
That's impact, right?
It's impact. And those guys, that means staying healthy. That's trust. That's finding a way. That means those guys played a lot of minutes too. You have to be on the floor to be able to do something.
But it's not as many as in the past, is it?
No.
Because a lot of times you would see Wade at the top of that minutes played list in the SEC. But it's nice. I'm telling you, I love this starting 5 as well. Look, I love the other starting 5 because I love the depth. I like that you can go 10 deep. But to go Wade, Zurich, Manny, that's a challenge in itself.
No question.
And Ferrell and Henry, who's going with those 2 bigs?
I know.
Yeah.
And again, it was a cool story. Henry, we were in a timeout. And I'm doing matchups and so forth with the opponent, and he comes over. He said, man, I got to get more offensive rebounds. But he's talking about helping the team.
Right.
So it's interesting the conversations you have, and the fans at home may not see those kind of things, but in the trenches, coaches are trying to figure out strategy. Do they need to adjust? Do they need to do this? What defense are we in? Coach might be talking to Coach Lyle, what are we going to run right here? What do you think? And everyone's trying to figure it out, and then you have those conversations with someone like Hen, and Hen is thinking about, man, I got to get in there. I got to rebound. I got to help us. How can I help us?
Right. Not score.
not score.
Right.
He's talking about getting another offensive
7 touches.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
He's trying to help. And it's been fun watching him grow in that respect. And here's a young man who, transferred in and has found an amazing fit. And like I was talking about Jace, I have a story for almost all of these guys just doing life with them. Like, Manny and I are going to eat tomorrow. He texts me, hey, Coach, hey, man, it's time to go eat. And he and I go eat often. And so this morning I'm at the barbershop, and he comes in. I'm like, Mo, I get up, I hug him. I still got the cape on, but that's my guy. I gotta stand up and give him a hug. And he's like, Coach, I got the perfect spot. This is where we're going tomorrow. But spending time with him and trying to encourage him.
Right.
And the things I would text him to encourage him. And it's all those guys. You're just trying to give them something. And I'll send Wade. I sent Wade something on Maxey. To play with the 76ers.
Yes.
And it was on leadership. I remember, you might have been there. Wade turned the ball over, came back, missed his defensive assignment, and was kind of talking to a teammate. And Coach Buzz says, hey, man, hey, Wade, I can't let it go.
Right.
I care too much about you. And talk to him. And the way that we were going to the baseline and Wade was at the top of the floor, he was just standing there by himself. Not intentionally, but everyone was kind of migrating toward the baseline. And Coach, and I texted him, and I said, it was really fun to watch the exchange between you and Coach today. Much respect. And he said, V, I'm just trying to get better as a leader, and he has. Henry Coleman, early in the year, texted me and said, Coach, and man, just wanted to say thanks for recruiting me to Texas A&M. What in the world?
Yeah.
But that's the growth.
Right.
But you see, it's been a great fit for him. It's about to break a record, Lord willing, if he stays healthy and continue to go. And that'll be a great feather in the cap for him individually. But that's something that we emphasize as a program. Can we get another offensive rebound? And no, we need another offensive rebound.
Right.
And these are the conversations that you're having with these young men, and it's just fun doing life with them.
Saturday, Missouri beat the hell out of the Tigers. Thanks for this hour, my friend.
Man, thank you, my friend. Always. Hey, you say, hey, man, we could do a whole hour.
yes, we can.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
Now we need to do another one.
There you go.
What we need to do.
I appreciate you,
best
man.
to your beautiful family.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my wife is here. My wife and my oldest son, Vince, are here.
Fantastic.
And, so I'm thankful for them.
Thank
again.
you.
All right, blessings.
You bet. Thank you, Vince Walden. The Aggies. We're in Missouri on Saturday. 2:30 is the tip. Our Dos Equis tip-off show will come your way at 2 o'clock. We look forward to all of you joining us all along the Texas A&M Sports Network. Kevin Menchow is the engineer here at Rudy's. Lacey Williams is the producer of Aggie Basketball Hour in our Learfield studios. I'm Andrew Monaco. My thanks to Coach V as well for a great hour. Thank you all for coming out here at Rudy's and joining us all along the network and behind the mic.